Welcome to my channel. Please enjoy the video.
What is going on, my tea sippers? Y'all get in here and get this tea. I hope it ain't too hot for you, okay? This young man right here, Will Eadie, is a very close friend of the disgraceful singer R. Kelly. Not only that, guys, he is the son of Michael Eadie, and Pastor Michael Eadie is a high-ranking member of the Church of God in Christ, Inc., okay? And the pastor of the People's Church of the Harvest on Chicago's West Side. Okay, and this man was accused of covering up the rape of George Gammons by a gay man in his own congregation. Now, I'm going to need you guys to listen up and catch up and listen real closely, because there are going to be some individuals that I'm going to mention in this video. According to the victim's sister, Carmelita D. Gammons, her mentally ill brother, and he's disabled, George Gammons, he ran to her during a Sunday service with his pants still down around his ankles. He was crying uncontrollably after being sodomized by a gay man at the church, and this man was a member as well. So after this incident occurred, Carmelita says that she promptly brought the crime to the attention of the pastor, Eadie, and his son, Will. And she thought that they would call the police, but instead the pastor immediately started trying to talk her out of pursuing any legal recourse while the perpetrator was still present in the church. Now listen to what I just stated, guys. How she's stating that the pastor and his son covered this crime up. And this is a disabled young man. She went on to state that Michael Eadie pulled me into his office and told me to calm down as if I were overacting in some kind of way. Pastor Eadie never called the police. He told Carmelita to remain prayerful and leave it in God's hands. I want y'all to listen, because y'all gonna get this smoke. I'm telling you, because y'all gonna be like, oh, sweet tea girl, nobody would have never figured this out but you. Now, this is what the pastor told Carmelita, guys. If you guys listen closely to things and things are not connected, even if they are connected, there's always going to be something that's going to be brought up. And that's how you know if something is a lie or if it's true. I'm going to prove it. Okay, so after that, she said the pastor never called the police. He just told her to remain prayerful and leave that in God's hands. Okay, so then Pastor Eadie's reaction, or lack of there, to George Gammons' rape is drastically different than what it was in the early 90s. So when his own wife, Christine, and his daughter, Eunice, they were abducted by several men, and they were by a storefront in Chicago. Okay, so this pastor's wife and his daughter were abducted by several men back in the early 90s. Okay, and at this time when this happened, Pastor Michael Eadie was visibly shaking. He called the police immediately. Yes, this pastor called the police immediately. And you know what? It came out to be that the person who did this and the members who did this was longtime members of his church. I want y'all to be careful in these churches, because it's more gangster in the church than it is in the street. You feel me? Pastor Eadie even had the audacity to kick Carmelita and her disabled brother out of his church a short time after the incident, while the rapist remained a member. Despite Pastor Eadie's righteous persona in the public, those who knew him described him as an adulterer, a womanizer, and a hypocrite. He's been cheating on his wife with women at the church for years, says this private source, not Sweet Tea TV. Carmelita says she once overheard Pastor Eadie telling an associate minister that one of his female members by the name of Stephanie has a big-ass booty. He seemed very humble in his early years as a pastor, but when he aligned with the former Chicago Mayor Daley, he became very arrogant and compromised as a pastor. He sold his soul and compromised a lot of his dignity when he started carrying water for Mayor Daley. That nigga is phony as fuck and slick as they come, said one of his longtime members, not Sweet Tea TV. And that member went on to say, quote, I would love for Will Eadie to serve me with court papers so this matter can be officially addressed in a court of law so that the world can see just how big of a phony and hypocrite he really is. Bring it on, Will Eadie. I'm not hard to reach at all. Y'all, Did y'all hear what Carmelita said? That Pastor Michael and Will Eadie, which is his father, Michael Eadie, told her, keep it in prayer and let it go in God's hands and just pray about it? Guys, tell me if this sounds familiar to you. If you follow my channel and my content and the very, very hot topics of my channel content, does that sound familiar? Somebody saying that they prayed and kept it in God's hands. They never took any legal action. And there was a crime of rape and child molestation in this person's family. Sounds familiar, guys? Remember, birds with the same feather are going to flock together. Y'all see Mr. Will Eadie right here posing with Mr. Kelly? I was there through him with his trials. He was holding him down. Okay, he's been a big supporter of Roberts. You know what I'm saying? That's more than an entourage to me, guys. Okay, they were very close due to my investigation. Very, 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 very close. Okay? And see, guys, I don't no longer read newspapers, but I have a quote that I want to teach you guys today, and I want you to keep this in the back of your mind. If you don't read the newspaper, you are uninformed. And if you do read the newspaper, you are misinformed. See, Mr. Will Eadie's family has very long-standing church ties in Chicago, Illinois. Doesn't he look like Bubba, guys? Doesn't he favor Bubba? Anyway, this is R. Kelly's close buddy, guys. There are many, many more. Mr. Will Eadie, due to my research, is allegedly R. Kelly's alleged gay lover and helped trafficking and was the enabler, and he threatened to harm a blogger for sliding with the victims and tells her to bring the feds with you. So there's this street committee, and they have asserted lots of disturbing information about one of R. Kelly's alleged gay lovers, who we just mentioned, Mr. Will Eadie, and those sex trafficking enablers, and they say that he was one of them. So at the time, guys, not to my knowledge or yours, when R. Kelly was going on with his trial, Will Eadie was attacking anyone who opposed the pedophile singer, calling them cowards and vipers. He called out Chicago musicians. He was boasting that he gave their sorry asses a chance. He went on to say that the only musician that R. Kelly was really close to was his keyboard player, Rodney East, who just happens to be one of R. Kelly's people that he brutally beaten up on the basketball court for no justification. So when all of this was going on with Mr. Kelly before the trial came out and when the docuseries was exposed to the world, they were saying that Eadie continued his rants by threatening to end his friendship with individuals who didn't agree with him with R. Kelly being innocent. So one source and a former friend of R. Kelly's believed that Will's rants were fueled by gay emotions and constantly referring to Kelly as his brother in a way of camouflaging their gay relationship. There are many brothers who has close buddies sent to prison, but you never see them in Facebook videos bitching and moaning about anything like that, acting like an emotional female. This is what the source is saying, and not Sweet Tea TV. This source stated perhaps if Will had spent all of that energy urging his brother, R. Kelly, to stop molesting underage girls and boys instead of partaking in his crimes, he probably wouldn't be about to spend the rest of his life in prison. And guys, this is what the information is also stating. Remember when I said that Eadie threatened that blogger and told her to bring the feds? See, it seems that he's one of those entourage members who would have expected to be indicted in R. Kelly's sex trafficking case. Eadie refers to himself on social media as an influencer, the street minister, but those who really know him calls him a lying hypocrite. They say he constantly makes references to God, while at the same time cussing and threatening anyone who doesn't support his child molesting lover, R. Kelly. He wants us to believe he could be around for Kelly for 20 years, traveling all over the world on a plethora of hotels, and has never seen him violate minors. And it goes back to what I said in that Jay-Z video, guys. Just like the statement Nas said. Jay-Z was with R. Kelly, and they were doing the Best of Both World tours, and you've never seen any minors, never seen that 14-year-old girl sitting on Robert's lap. That's bullshit. He knows it. I know it, and mostly importantly, the feds know it, says this source, and not Sweet Tea TV. Attorney Michael Eadie may have even turned out to be a miscredit, but when he was right when he said R. Kelly's entourage will be held accountable. And this is what the source is saying, guys. To make matters worse, Mr. Will Eadie, surviving R. Kelly's star and one of those alleged victims, Jerronda Pace recently posted and exposed Eadie in her new book, A Life Beyond Abuse. So I don't care what anybody says, Jerronda was there, and she said some things that are very credible to me. However, I did investigate her, and I believe her 100%. So according to Pace, Will Eadie was one of Kelly's down-low gay lovers who's been sexually active with the embattled singer for over a lot of years. Will Eadie has not bothered to sue Pace because he knows she very much is on the scene and was on the scene and can confirm and claimed to be that eyewitness. Robert has bragged to me and others about how he turned Will out and made him go from male groupie to his personal little bitch. And this is what Jerronda Pace said, not Sweet TTV. Miss Pace went on to state that Rob has a way of making individuals like Will feel like they're his best friend in the world, but then dogs them to us when they're not around. R. Kelly is just as two-faced as they come, added Pace. And she also stated that there are other public figures who has already exposed Will Eadie for his gay lifestyle, okay? And we know Tasha K don't play no games. I don't care what nobody say. This girl dishes the tea. I don't agree with everything she says, but she's on point with her shots, okay? Because she's not pulling all of these things out of her backside, and neither am I. I just took my time to do my research, and I'm sure she's done hers as well. And if you guys want to know how far this tea stretches, see, a while ago, Tasha K already called out Will Eadie as one of R. Kelly's gay lovers. Go Tasha, go Tasha. See, Will Eadie's involvement with R. Kelly is particularly interesting given the fact that his own former brother-in-law, Steve Huff, is married to Stephanie Edwards, formerly known as Sparkle, and just happened to be the aunt of Rashonda Landfair, the underage girl in that infamous tape. Now, do y'all see how all the pieces are coming together? I know y'all see me. I know y'all see me. Do y'all see how everything is connecting and adding up? Let's continue. And even more disconcerting, Will's father, Pastor Michael Eadie, is as hypocritical as his son. He embraces a known pedophile sex cult leader as if he's a hero of some kind. So this source goes on to say, as a maneuver to deflect attention from his gay lifestyle, he's speaking of Will often takes to social media, posting photos of him and Kelly and defending their relationship to those who dare to question his sexuality. So I did a little browsing, guys, and Will posted on his Facebook page, quote, "Me and my brother R. Kelly started 21 years ago as basketball competitions, and we turned into friends, turned into very best friends, and now we're brothers. I've been silent only because I know the truth. He has been silent because he doesn't have to prove anything or say anything salacious and tell any lies. The truth will come out, and you all will see the true motives behind all of this very soon. You have no idea the things that I've been accused of and suffered because of my love and loyalty in association to R. Kelly. Regardless of what anyone says or thinks, I've never left his side or spoke ill of him. I've been accused personally of some of the most disgusting things, but anyone that even remotely knows me knows my integrity, reputation, and upbringing, and standing within the community." So guys, due to me reading that and reading it to you, needless to say, any logical thinking person reading that statement could see through all that jargon and detect gay overtones that consist with a homosexual relationship. And this is just my opinion. If you don't agree, hey, if you need to rewind this part back, please do so. So the source goes on to say, despite Will's malarkey, others close to R. Kelly knows beyond a reasonable doubt that Will Eadie is an undercover homosexual, and Tasha K stated this a while back. The source tells, both Will and Kelly know that this is all true, which is why you'll never hear about them filing any lawsuits or doing any preliminary, because they know it'll open up all these floodgates for more information about their gay relationship, and then that will be divulged on public record, under oath, and during any lawyer depositions. Now guys, I wanted to go ahead and squeeze in Cash Howard because I was asked by one of my subscribers why I never brought Cash Howard up. I think I did, but I didn't get down to the meat and potatoes of Cash Howard's position in all of this, or her job. Now, for those who don't know, celebrity stylist Cass Howard was one of R. Kelly's alleged enablers as well. And she was expected to be indicted in that federal sex trafficking case. How do I know this? Because I do my damn research. Because back in 2019, Cass Howard was contacted by the Department of Homeland Security to schedule a sit-down with her. It appeared that the 2-hour meeting was prompted by a video that popped up all over YouTube. Public information. And in the video, Howard was behind the steering wheel of a car with 2 of R. Kelly's girlfriends, Holly Calhoun and Veronica Andrews. They talked to social media about the relationships with the embattled singer R. Kelly. Veronica AKV was sobbing throughout the video, which the source says that Cash recorded last year. Howard said she was only in the video because she was offered more support. She was supporting Holly and Veronica. In fact, in a written statement, Cash offered the following. Mr. Kelly hired me as his personal fashion stylist while I provided wardrobe, direction for concerts, album cover shots, and special appearances. Our professional relationship, along with all communication, ceased in March of 2017, claims Howard. The source went on to provide this information that Cash has tried hard to pass herself off as a caring and comforting servant who's offered support to all the alleged victims. The source is close to the investigation told Boom, she was actually operating in the toll of a madam and his accomplice for several years, Mrs. Cash Howard. Now they're stating she was one of his enablers, and she assisted R. Kelly in continuing on with his sex trafficking ring for years. She was definitely complicit, and despite her facade, she and many others should have been indicted in that federal indictment, and they were, guys, but they had to testify to bring their head down. Now, guys, do you see this picture? Do you see how everything is connecting? This is Louis Farrakhan, R. Kelly, and Mr. Will Eadie. Now remember, Barry Hankerson said that he went to the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and told him about what happened with Aaliyah and R. Kelly. Does Louis Farrakhan seem like he's upset with R. Kelly? Looks like they're having a mighty freaking good time. No harm there, no harm done. This is just a little receipt, guys, to point out the fact that we all know that Barry Hankerson was not being honest in that Dr. Oz interview. They all knew, and they all were connected. So remember what Mr. Barry Hankerson said. He went to Louis Farrakhan, and they just prayed about it. Guys, this is Will Eadie. This is Michael Eadie's son. Remember that lady Carmelita and her brother? He was mentally disabled, and he was molested and sodomized by a member of his father's church. Remember what he told her? Let's just pray about it. He even put this young lady and her brother out of the church and kept the molester pedophile in his organization after the fact. He never called the police. He never took any legal action or had anything done to this member. He kept him in the church. But isn't this what Barry Hankerson said he did? He went to Louis Farrakhan and they just prayed about it. This is all connected, and I don't care what anybody says. I do my research, and I put everything together. I critique the fuck out of this video. You guys know that. Okay, guys? So I'll be doing more digging and bringing more hot, lit content. I want y'all to stay tuned. I thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, make many comments, and share my videos on your social media platforms. Until the next video, guys, I love you all.